of this cupboard because all my wire trees are in there. That's where I keep them. I got loads and loads and loads of them. Now I have to say a special thank you to Chef because she helped me to make up all these samples, and like most of them, she helped me to make up, and otherwise I would not have like enough hours in the day to make up everything. And she's just so amazing. She's so talented, and she can make all sorts of different shapes and different things. Now there's two different techniques how you can do what we're going to do today. I'm going to talk you through both of them. In previous tutorials, which are in the description as well, we started at the top and went all the way down. We can also start at the bottom and work your way up in a tree. So it's really up to you. What would you like to do? Both methods are good. Both methods are correct, but it's really what it's not like what suits you better, but I think in different situations you could do different things. Now I'm going to show you a quick way, and I just panicked for a second before we went live because I forgot to bring in my bucket from outside, which is like I got my top tip with that one, but I got a bin down here which I can take the bag at, and I'll show you with that one. I got a really good tip how you can get the same amount of a wire for every single branch on your tree. So shall we get started now? I'm very quickly gonna just take you to the website and show you that what we have for you. The kits, what I put together. So we had kits on before where we just had the chips, and then we just got this very small one right in front of me, so I just sort of hold up. We had the chips, we had the wire in there, and then you can make 3 very small ones, a couple of medium ones, or 1 large tree from the kit. So I changed it because like even then you still needed to find a dish, and I will show you some of the samples. I get them out later on from the cupboard. Still need to find a dish or something to set your samples in. Now what I wanted to do this time is to give you the whole treatment. So I got these beautiful stones, and I'm going to show you some of them in a minute. This will come in a kit. Now they're not available separately on the website because, and I'm going to show you how you can get some if you just want the stones. Leanne is working on it right now, adding them to the page because they didn't want to add it too early. So you're going to get the stone in the kit, you're going to get the wire in the kit, and you could get our new wire, which they are super long, so it's enough for like one really large tree. And you're going to get your chips, and you're also going to get the dome. Now let's pop over to the website very quickly, and I'm just going to show you. Just give me one tiny sec. Just close this window and make sure we're going to the right place. So there we go. So that's the kits today. You know the drill by now. When you go on our website, you're going to go to categories, you're going to go to video tutorials, and it's going to bring up all the tutorials we had over the past days, weeks, months, and almost a year. Next Tuesday is our 1-year anniversary, so 1 week from now, that's when we all started last year. So I'm going to go into gemstone trees, and you're going to see the kits we put together. You can buy the dome separately as well. If you like, the largest one is, I'm going to show you which one is it, is $23.39. Simon has given us 10% of everything, and then there is the smaller one. Smallest one is $8.99, and that's the one is what Sarah used for the rose as well. So that's like smaller version as well. Now to the trees. What I did, because we got these beautiful pebbles, and I'm in love with the fluorite, and I'm in love with the Labradorite. I'm in love with all of them, actually, with the rose quartz as well. So we have added in each one of those kits, what we did, we added a large pebble, and I'm going to show you the size. They are quite big. We added all the wire, what you need for the tree, and we added the chips as well. Now the wire on its own is £10. The stone is £15. You know, the dome is like, you do your math, so you are getting a very good deal here on them if you want to have a good. And this is like going to give you a really special gift. And I'm just going to come back, and I'm not even like gonna, oh, come on, the wrong way. There we go. Technology, you know me. I'm going to grab the samples, and I'm going to bring it in and show them to you because they look so much nicer in real life than they look on the photograph. And I'm going to show you exactly. Let's switch to this camera. So I'm going to just pop this in here, and I'm going to bring the other ones in as well. So I paired up, like this is the rose quartz one, and I paired it up with the lovely tourmaline. We got rock crystal stone with rock crystal chips on the top. We got fluorite stone with fluorite chips on the top. I love this one. I might have to not return this to the warehouse. I might have to keep that. I think that goes very well in my craft room right now. And then what we also did, we given you the options. If you wanted to, those are the domes which will be coming in your kit. I'm just moving that there. These are the size of domes which are coming in your kit, which are still quite big. And I'm going to just lift one up in a minute and show you exactly they are gorgeous. Now, why have the dome? When you have got the dome, like I have a Labradorite one, actually in the cupboard, my one, which I had probably a couple of years now, and I used to have it in the kitchen. But because in the kitchen we're doing all sort of cooking, we're doing all sort of different things, like, you know, you get the residue from if you're frying anything or you do anything. So the domes just keep the trees pristine and keep them really nice in condition. You can also do, I didn't do for this one, you can paint the bottom of these because they are wood. So if, for example, if I had this one, I would probably paint the bottom one bits like a very light gray. If I had this one, I might did the Fluorite one, I might paint it like a dark green color or a brown color. Also, you can add other bits of pieces with it. So you got the gorgeous large stone in there, and sorry, my hand is in the way, gorgeous large stone at the bottom, but you can add moss around it. You can add like little trinkets around it. You can really dress it up and make it look like a nice little scene. If you wanted, you could edit some of your little beaded flowers at the bottom. You could do so many different things with this. I think if you got somebody really special, you wanted to do a gift, like this is it. This is what you like. You can do, and don't like look at that and say, well, oh, like look at that tree. That looks really, really nice. I will be never able to do that. And I'm gonna get this one out because I know this one is not secured. So you would think that I would never be able to do that, but yes, you will, because all you're doing is turning loops. Now here the stone is not secured in it, so I can slide it out. So you get one of the stones. You can either form the roots around it. This tree was started at the top, but we can equally start the tree at the bottom, and that's what we're going to do today. That's how I'm going to show you how to do it today. I'm going to pop this stone back on, and the larger your trees are, you can add things inside it, like a thicker wire or like a large nail or something to form your tree around it. But because you got the dome, so it doesn't matter if your tree is a little bit flimsy, a little bit more. I like it. I like my trees a little bit flimsy because it's a little bit more sort of the movement is in it, but your dome is going to hold up. So you're going to have a very professional finish, even if you are a beginner, because your dome is there to support anything, and you can't, like, you know, you can't, once inside the stone, it just looks really, really good. You can always go back and tweak it, and often when people make trees, that's what they forget to do, is they're sort of to go back. I forever, especially the ones I have got out, I go back and I tweak it and I tweak it and I tweak it again and just sort of pull the branches apart and then make it into different shapes. I forever do that. Now, this is the rose quartz with the tourmaline. So in the kit, you get one stone, you get a full spool of wire, which is on this wire, there is 50 meters. So in our old kits, the wire used to get, you only used to have 8 meters of wire on there. So here you get 50 meters, you get the stone and you get a strand of the tourmaline chips and you get this stone. But however, if you say like, you know what, I really like that one, but I got a bigger space to fill. I got somewhere like, you know, I got a specific place I want to put these, but I need it a little bit bigger because I really want this to stand out. Then I got you covered. So what you need to do is on the bottom of each one of those kits, there is an option. I'm just going to pull this to the side so I can bring this larger one in. You got the option to upgrade to a large dome, and I'm hoping that this is going to fit into my shot. So upgrading to a large dome, and you get an extra strand of chips as well. That's in every single one of the kits what we put together. The stone again is going to be the same size at the bottom, so that's, but if they do, I did say to the guys at work that if somebody upgrades to a larger dome, make sure that you bring like pick like a larger stone, because all these stones are like between 150 and 200 grams. So we just sort of pick them up random, but there's all sorts of different things you could do, and you can make it even larger. I would say this is probably adding about one third. Let me just move this out to the size of your tree, that by going for the larger one. So this one is, and I'm just going to grab my ruler because I don't want to. This one is from bottom to top is 31 centimeters or 32 centimeters, the top, the really large one, and the one underneath it from bottom to top is 20. Hold on. It helps if I hold it in the right way, wouldn't it? Bless it. So this one is 22 centimeters from the bottom to top. So just a little bit bigger, just a little bit more impressive. Again, I would do the same thing. You got a little bit more space at the bottom here to paint it and add like little trinkets or little bits and pieces around it. But how good would it look to make like little beaded flowers or little, like, orchids, little beaded daisies or something like that at the bottom as well. You can really go so creative with this one. But what I love about it, you can do as much or as little as you want. Right. Just to sort of remind you that, like, if you just want to have a go at the trees and you don't want the domes, you can, because, and this is the cornelian chips with the agate stone. If you wanted to have a go just at the tree, let's move that. Just at the tree, and you didn't want to do, you didn't want the dome and all that sort of things, you can. On the website we do sell the wire separately, we sell the chips separately, and you can just have a go. And then if I'm just going to grab this one from the top, again, once you made your tree, you're going to need to have some sort of setting. Now this is just on a bit of a driftwood. I had a air plant in here which has unfortunately died, but as you can see, I set moss in there. So you could, and I think this pebble, I don't even know where that came from, but you can do all sorts of different things with it. And at the end, stick around because I will open the cupboard and I grab out some of the other samples what I made over the years and how I set them in and what I put them in. But these ones, like, I think they're just so, I just wanted to give you the whole thing so you can have a really professional finish. Right. So I'm gonna come back to this camera because I want to give you a top tip on how to, I'm actually going to move some, I'm just so conscious that I'm going to, maybe the fly, I'm going to move some just sort of to the back, just there. And then, what color shall we demo with? You can tell me any color and we're going to do it. Just to let me know. I'm going to move, actually I'm going to move the big one behind. They're just looking at me, or shall I help? Or don't change up? Right, that's it. Just make some space. Because you know me, I'm so klutzy, I'm going to send it flying. Just move that there. There we go. Right, I'm going to leave one here, just sort of we can look at it as we go. Tourmaline, yes. Leanne, you are like, can be saying white. I love tourmaline. That's one of my favorite stones with the rose quartz. Nicole is saying green. Rose gold and tourmaline. Leanne is saying, another Leanne is saying tourmaline as well. Rock crystal, please. Camille is saying green. Which one was the green? The fluorite. The green is fluorite. Oh, Karen is saying they're all so lovely, so hard to choose. Tam is saying they're all so beautiful. Fluorite, Karen is saying, so we've got 2 for the chloride, 3 for the pink at the moment. So, rose 4 for the pink, 5 for the pink. Yeah, I think rose quartz is going to win. The rose quartz with the tourmaline is going to win, I'm afraid. Right, and that's using this really lovely rose gold wire. So Eddie's saying I love tourmaline. So let's go with tourmaline, yes. But the Paul is saying purple, but I think we're gonna go with the tourmaline, fluorite. That one has the tourmaline, and with the rose quartz has the most ones. So we're gonna go with that one. Okay, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna get everything out of your kit, and you let me just very quickly, and I'm just going to cut here and I'll show you what you get. So you get your dome empty and then you get this large spool of wire, you get one of your lovely rocks, and you also get a strand of stone chips. Now I'm going to come back here because what we're going to do is I'll show you, and if you click on the descriptions above, there are videos how to start at the top and finish at the bottom. So today what we're going to do, we're going to start at the bottom and finish at the top, and I'm going to show you that technique. It's, you get the tree is going to look exactly the same, but it's just a slightly different technique. So what I want to do first is to get my, and it would have helped if I had my plier just here right next to me. Let me just grab my plier from my little trolley. That one. And my cutter. And my wire stretch. And that will do me for now. So I'm just going to take the end of the wire out of my spool. Just like that. Just pull it out. Right, so if this, I'm not careful, this is going to unreal. But what we are going to do, so I want to make sure my tree is pretty much the same size from like bottom to the top. So I'm going to take my bin and excuse my bin. this is like, what is she going to do with the bin? So because my bin has got a largish circle shape, what I'm going to do to end up, and this is really quick how to cut your wire, I'm going to hold my wire just to the bottom of the bin, and then I'm going to start and I'm going to wind this around it. So what I'm doing here is making sure that I'm going to have the same amount of, and this is going to fall to the floor, that's fine. I'm going to make sure that we're going to have the same amount of wire for every single strand we do. Now I'm going to do this, I'm going to turn this around so it's a bit easier to hold on to. In the same time as I'm winding it, I'm holding the wire on with my index finger and my thumb on the other side, and I'm just going to wind this on as many times, as many branches I want. Now you're going to need quite a few, so I would reckon that you would need to wind around at least 20, 25 or 30 times, depending on how full you want your tree. Now with your tree, obviously you can take a picture of a real tree and sit down and replicate it, or you can just make up one from your from a fantasy tree, or from one from your mind. Now the wire is 0.4 millimeter in size. And I'm just gonna wind it a couple more times. Now the other things what I love about these trees, and this is so true, that you can't really go wrong, because as nature there is nothing like, you would think like there is like nature and it's so natural and there's nothing perfect in nature, but I think sometimes unsymmetrical and like all sorts of weird and wonderful colors and shapes what nature provides us, it looks perfect to me. So it doesn't really matter like if your tree is a little bit lopsided or anything. That's what the beauty of it, that you can make all sorts of different things. So I've wrapped this around, I haven't been counting, but I've wrapped this around quite a few times now. So a large flower pot probably would have been a better shape to wrap around, because this one is quite slippery at the bottom. But I got a bucket outside, which I usually bring in and do it with, but I just really forgot to bring in. So I was like very quickly, like 5 seconds before it went live, I remembered, and yeah, like what am I going to do? And be like running around the room trying to find something. She was bless her. So just a couple more, so I have got enough. Now I'm going to come back to the beginning, just like that, and I'm going to hold these together. I can go back and do some more later on if I like. So what I like to do is to take my very beginning and just wrap it around a couple of times. So what that's going to do is just going to hold all of my wires together. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim the end of the wire and just cut it right off. And let me just change Just find my wire off the floor and pop it there. Let me just change camera to this one, and this is quite sort of a wide shot still, but I'm going to zoom in a bit. I'm going to go ahead, and this is where I band it together on this side. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the wire on the other side. Just cut every single one of them. It doesn't really matter if one of them is 1 centimeter bigger and the other one is 1 centimeter smaller. It's all nature. It's all going to look really, really good. So just like that. Then I have got the same length wire to work with. So I'm very quickly going to show you what you would do if you start at the top. Like these trees, this one was started at the top. You're going to make one little branch, and then you're gonna head your way down and twist the tree together. And then I'm gonna move in and show you how to start at the bottom. So I'm just gonna take one length of wire. I'm just actually gonna cut a little one here. And I'm going to take my chips. Now you could grade your chips because like they're all 5 to 8 millimeter in size. You could use smaller ones at the top, larger ones at the bottom. I just like to use them random. Whatever I do, I just like to use them random. So however I'm not very good usually with random because I keep trying to, like if I would be keep trying to pick out the pink ones, but I usually try my best. So I'm gonna zoom in for you. So if you wanted to start at the top, and that is how, like if you want to make a tree, majority of trees are made. Just take a length of wire, depending on how big you want to make the tree. You're going to take like 35 centimeter, 45 or 55 centimeter for large tree. You're going to add one chip to it. Let this go all the way down. Then I like to cross over my wires just like that. And I'm going to hold, let's take this out of the way. I'm going to hold them just under 1/2 inch. So one end is facing one way, the other one is facing the other way. I'm going to hold them quite tightly between my thumb and index finger, and I'm just going to turn the chip. I'm just going to twist it. It doesn't matter what way you twist it. You can twist it away or towards you as long as you keep twisting the same way. So I just added one chip just like that. Now I'm going to add another chip. And this time I'm gonna fold it over about 1 centimeter again from the end. And I'm gonna hold again the end separately. And then it's just about 1 centimeter gap there. I'm gonna twist again. And I got my second little twig. Now I can add another one here, or I can hold the two together and twist down. So I just twist it down maybe just under 1 centimeter, and then add another one. Always adding chips to the longest wire you have. So you kind of have them coming together. Again, I'm folding it over and twisting this. So it's sort of you get what you need to do here. And then I would again twist it together to maybe another 1/2 centimeter, and then add another little branch. And that's how you would start at the top. Now, if I want to start at the bottom, and when you start at the top, and I'm just going to bring this very old tree I have here. Let's zoom out a little bit, or actually let's go back, and I'm going to come to this camera so I can show you. Let's get the rose quartz out of the way. So when you form your tree at the top, you start at the top branching. So these wires are going to have to be just a tiny bit, little bit longer than the ones you add right at the bottom. But I, in fact, start with the same wire, and then I have some of the roots are longer and some of the roots are shorter. So it's really very organically forming, and yes, it's 0.4 millimeter the wire I'm using. Very organic forming. It comes in so many different colors. They are really gorgeous wire to work with. It's a copper wire, so it's really easy to form as well. So when you start at the top, you're gonna make loads of these little branches, and then you're gonna bring them together and form the roots at the end. And then if you wanted to set it onto a stone, you would add this tree, and you would bring the roots together at the bottom and twist them together like that. That's like a really great way to, but then you can decide and you can, like, you know, add this to a dish. I will show you some of the samples later on. You just can glue this into a dish. You can add it in with flowers. You can add it with all sorts of different things. But sometimes when you start at the top like this one, you haven't got enough wire at the bottom to then secure this onto your stone. So then you either need to add another wire at the bottom, sort of weave more wire in so you just have enough to have it onto the stone, or you could go completely the opposite way, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. Let's go back to my overhead camera. That you can start at the bottom and start with the stone itself. So I'm going to take about, let's take 3 wire here. I'm going to take the wires in threes, in bunch of threes, and I'm just going to prepare them there because I'm going to have to add them like pretty much at the same time. You can always add more wire in later on and you can twist it into your tree, but I think 3, or let's go 4 in some of the bunches. So what you can actually do as well is to start at the bottom. So I'm going to start with the very middle of my wire. I'm going to add the stone right on top of it. I'm going to take these wires, I'm going to wrap it from one side, and I'm just going to make, I have to be careful because the stone can be very slippery as they are very well polished. I'm just going to twist this onto the bottom. There we go. Push this right into the middle. And then obviously this is not enough wires here to form our trees. We need much more. Then I'm going to take my next bunch. I'm going to again put this on my wire. I'm going to put the stone on the top of this and then bring these ones together. Now you can do a little bit of twist before you add it on, just to twist these bottoms together so they behave and they will stay. And then add your stone on the top of it. Now try to go for a different angle this time. Just like that. And I'm going to bring this together. And again, as I'm holding it together, I'm going to bring it and twist all of the wires together. So now I've got sort of, when I'm adding a few more, it will stay on there quite nice. And because the next one I'm going to add on this side. So can you see I'm sort of slinging my wire around. I'm in different places of the stone, but this will give you a really nice flat finish with the stones. It will sit nicer at the end. And if you start at the top and then you go to the bottom, you get a bit of a mess at the bottom. So let's add a few more to this. Now until you actually have a few more lines, this is not going to, let me just wrap this, hold them together in the middle so they don't come apart. This time I'm going to add it this way. You can start with all the wires together at the bottom. I kind of like them adding in as I go along. So it just gives you more flexibility. And again, I'm going to go ahead and just turn this a couple of times. Now, if as you're getting more and more wire, this is going to start to get harder to sort of twist around. They can always grab a pair of pliers. I do use my nylon drawers a lot when I'm forming the trees because they don't mark my wire. So if I take a chain nose or a flat nose, if I grip this very, very tight here, it's going to make a dent in my wire. So even when I'm twisting wire like that, I like a flat nose because I can grab onto it quite hard and twist it. But because it's got this lovely plastic covering on it, it's not going to make any mark or any dent in my wire. So just pull this back on, and I'm going to go ahead and add another one on there. So I'm going to go along until I have a nice and tight finish at the bottom. Let's loop into this one. There we go. And I'm going to take both this way. And again, I'm going to hold it together and just twist it. Now you could form, if you wanted, you could form your lovely roots a little bit more. You could do a little bit more twisting. I just sort of wanted to show you really quickly that we can get going and we can start forming the tree itself. I actually got a few more, so I'm going to add in whatever I cut. I'm going to add into here. So just the last little bit. Now you can either, again, wrap it. The other things what you can do if it's getting a little bit lopsided is to bring your wire, just turn it around, loop it under one of the loops. That loop is really run away with me. Find the middle and then pull that loop towards the other side. And then again, I'm just gonna bring this together. Now, if I had a bit more time, I would form these a little bit more and make sure they are sitting nicely and just pull them where I want to pull them. Like, because it's copper wire, you can go backwards and forwards. You can even separate them up and have like a nice little lines going around them. You could do so many different, it's really, it's up to you, like what design you want to do with them. If you want to be more realistic, then you would like form more of a root shape. If you want it more like this, where let me just bring this up, where you just have like single wires going down, you could do that as well. You could do so many different things. So I'm gonna twist this trunk. I probably should have added a few more lines to this just to make it a little bit thicker, but this will do for now. So I'm going to twist the trunk and let me just cut to the other camera so we can work. You can see coming up on you. So I'm twisted the trunk and let's just get these out of the way. So you can see what I'm doing. So I'm twisted the trunk and you can twist as much as you want to. You can make this shorter or you can make it bigger. And when you get to a certain length, you can just separate up. So I'm thinking I want to have a branch coming off here. And then I'm gonna take all those wires. So it's probably about a third of the wire, what there were a quarter of the wire, and I'm going to twist these together just a couple of times to separate them, then maybe go with the main branch a little bit more and then separate these out into two. There is so many different shapes you can do. If you want more of a bonsai tree, if you want more of a all sorts of different trees, like an oak tree's got a different canopy, however you want to do it. So I separated those into completely halves. Then I'm going even a bit more further up with this. And again, I can separate them up. So because we started at the bottom, we are replicating what we have here as if we were started at the top. But at the top, we're making our branches and bringing them together. Here, we're starting at the bottom, bringing out and separating our branches out as we're going into our little twiglets. And you're going to have the very similar look at the end, but it's a different technique. And I can really spend so much time on this, really going around, adding bits to it, like really, I'm just very quickly going to do it. Dividing these branches up. You can always go back afterwards and tweak them with a pair of pliers to make them more like turning and how the twigs and branches would sit, and just keep on separating them up as I'm coming towards the top. So I just left two, and I'm just going to very quickly come to this camera as well so you can see from the top how I separate it up, and then it's all moving together. So depending like how you want to do your tree, some people, like I personally prefer starting at the top and working my ways down, but I know some people like to work at the bottom and work their ways up, because it's depending how you visualize your tree, depending of how you know, if you start you can start either way, you're going to have the same results. Right, so I think I got enough separated now, and I'm going to start adding some chips. Now to make a full tree, it would take me probably about 3-4 hours. So I'm just going to show you a couple of branches, how to do it, that just sort of you really get. And really, Carol is saying it looks so addictive. Yes, it's really addictive. I'm going to show you. I got so much trees. I got so many. Now, when you get to this part that you're going to start adding your chips, the technique is exactly the same. And what you need to do is you're going to take a chip. I'm just going to take a random chip. You're going to just have one piece of wire. You're going to let that chip go down. Just like that. I'm going to turn the end on it. So just only have about 1 centimeter there. And I'm going to start twisting that little. So I got one little twiglet. And then I'm going to go ahead, take another chip. And then I'm going to go and repeat it again and again and again. And just bringing this together. And again, twisting. I like to twist away from me. Now you're twisting. The more you're twisting, the more you do, the more even it's going to become. There we go. So that's my second one and my third one. And also like you can do as many as you want. Now I got the other wire next door to it. So I'm going to twist these together. Just to come out on the branch a little bit. And I'm going to repeat what I just did. So I'm going to take one wire. I'm going to add a chip to it, take it down about 1 centimeter, fold it over, holding onto my tree, twist this away from me. That's like that. And then I'm going to pull, add another chip again. So again, I'm adding chips to the longest wire. So these two wires are together. One of them is shorter, the other one is longer. I want to end up like pretty much with the same at the end. And again, I'm going to fold it over and twist. Just like that. And then I'm going to move out on my twig again. So I'm going to take these two ends and twist it together. And so on until I get to the very tip and I'm adding my last chip. But you can do all sorts of different variations. You can grade your chips. You can use larger ones, sort of inner woods like the towards the trunk, and smaller ones at the tip. I don't. I just pick up whatever I can pick up. So there we go. So I twisted those two together. Now I'm going to separate them up again, add one other chip here, and I'm going to go along until until all of my wire is used up. I'm just going to twist this very quickly. Add another one to the other side. If you have got like the tourmaline, if you wanted to, you could use more of the pink chips towards the end of your branches, like representing more of your flowers, and the greeny browny ones more sort of the inner side of your branches if you wanted to. I'm just twisting this. There we go. And I'm going to take the two branches out again. Now for me, if I'm starting at the bottom, yes, I have got a nice root structure and it's really nice and smooth at the bottom, but it's just up to you. Try both ways and let me know which one you like to do the best. And if you have tried this or the other way already, then let me know which one was your favorite. Do you like to start at the top or do you like to start at the bottom? Let me know which one do you prefer. I'm going to add another one. I'm going to finish this branch. Just like that. But it's all about adding these little chips all the way to the end. Oh, Carol's saying, don't forget to like the tutorials, please. Thank you so much for reminding. If you like what we do and if you like this tutorial, just give us a thumbs up, give us a like. It just really, really helps us to, one, like figure out which videos work the best and which one do you want more of it. And it just shows us like you appreciate us here, because as long as you keep showing up and you keep coming, we will be coming back and keep bringing you all sorts of different tutorials. Kieran is saying, I will need to try this. I have wanted to make a gemstone tree for ages. So this one, once I finish with it, is going to be, anybody know? No. Anybody know where I put my ruler? And it's right in front of me. So this one's, once I finish, is probably going to be about 20 centimeters. So can you, oh, let's change the camera. So can you see it's probably going to be about 19-20 centimeters this side once I pull these up and start to work on them, and that's the right size for the dome. But again, like, you know, you could make it smaller, you could make it bigger, you can if I wanted to, I could add more wire in here and like even either bring it up from the bottom or wrap more wire and start from one of the branches, because especially the middle branches, you're not going to see them that much once you finish, because they are right, the chips are going to be covering up. Right, let's get these out of the way so I can really show you how to finish this. So I got one more, I got enough wire here to do one more little twig at the end. I'm going to choose a nice pink one. And I'm just going to turn this around as well and twist. This way looks easier. Have to give it a try. Yes, have a try, have a look. Which one do you like? It's as I said, we all different. We all do things differently. So some people like to, I kind of like to work from top to bottom, but I have made a few. But if you never made a tree, this way it might be a little bit easier, because like us trees grows, trees going from bottom to bottom up, they're growing out of the ground, and when we're trying to make something from top to bottom, we're sort of going against what nature is doing. So now I have to work off my little ends here, and all I'm gonna do is that little tiny end left, I'm just gonna wrap it around the branch just once, just taking my chain nose pliers, and I'm gonna take the other one and I'm gonna wrap that around as well, just once, like that. I'm gonna cut off any excess there, what I don't need. And because for good measure, for good measure, I like to go back in with my chain nose pliers, and I'm gonna zoom in on this one for you. I like to go in with my chain nose pliers, and I just like to tuck the end down. I do that for jewelry making. I do that for anything when I'm working with wire. I tuck the end in. I think that's just sort of, I got used to doing that. Now this is how you make one little branch, and you need to replicate this over and over and over again as you're making your tree bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, as you coming up on your tree. I just go to this one so you can see that there's all sorts of different things you can do with it. Let me just zoom in a tiny bit so we lose those black lines. There's all sorts of different things you can do with it, and it's really, really easy. So either bottom up or top down, or down up. Have a little go and just have a little play, because they are so easy to make. And when you look at the finished result, you know, at this stage it doesn't really look much, but you can go back and tweak it. It's a copper wire, very pliable, really easy to work with. And if I bring you in this finished sample, you can see, and let's see, the stone stays in it. Even if I pick it up now, the stone will stay in it nice and secure. I'm gonna take this out, and you can see I can still go in, and even after the tree is made, and then this is still, again, not glued down, they're not the final destination for it, but you can separate those little, you can always go in and tweak it. And One of the things what I always suggest that like people say like, oh, my trees doesn't really look very realistic. What can I do with it? And I'm gonna come back to the overhead camera for this one. What you can actually do, and I'll show you on this one and I'll show you on the other one as well, to take your round nose pliers this time. Now, round nose pliers are like completely round all the way around, and just go in and just like sort of tweak those little twigs, like pull it and push around, so you can even twist it. Can you see, like by adding a little kink into that, and that just makes it even more realistic, because trees, especially if you look at any of the tree twigs outside in your garden or in the park, they're not all of them are straight. Some of them are a little twirly whirly. I'm not really sure what the right word for it, like twirly whirly. What's the terminology, Leanne? What do they call like twigs when they're like all sort of? Oh, Leanne is saying curly whirlies. There you go. So twirly whirly or curly whirly? You tell me. We have made loads and loads of these trees. Now this is the one on the floor right now. I'm going to show you, because there is so many chips there. I'm going to bring this one back so you can see it probably better, that what I'm talking about when I'm turning them. So I'm just going in with my round nose pliers and I'm just plying them, turning the ends, so they're not so straight, they just become a little bit more realistic. And then you can do all sorts of different shapes, and even like in the main body of this, I can go down and I can shape it so it's not, there's a little bit of sort of movement, there's a little bit of wave in there, how it would be on a real tree. But I like to do this right at the end. I might do a little bit as I go along, and that one is quite long, so I'm gonna make maybe a couple of loops on it, and the one further down. You can do a little bit as you go along. Can you see, just by turning those ends, it become a little bit more organic, a little bit more realistic. But you can always tweak it, or you can always tweak it as you go along. So the domes, Kieran is asking, are they from the kids? So let me just come to this one. So in the kit, you do get, let me just, other cover, there we go. So in the kit, there is 6 different kits on the website. I wanted to put everything together for you. So you get the dome, you get the wire, you get the stone at the bottom, like in this case, this is the fluorite one. You get the fluorite stone at the bottom, you get the wire, and you get the chips, and you get the dome as well. Now, this is basic wood. You can, so not basic, it is wood, which is called wood basic. You can color this. So you can paint it if you like to do, like with the acrylic paint or anything you have at home. You could like really decorate it. Then you can add your tree into the middle, and you can add a little moss around it. You can do all sorts of different things to decorate it further, or little like figures you might have. I know Camille has got a tree she put up on the handmade group. She's got 3 little Chinese men on the, like around the tree, and I love that one because I know she used to live in the Far East, and that is like really sentimental, and I just love things like that, like little subtle hints about your life you could do. But I could add beaded flowers at the bottom. I could do so many different things, and the best thing of it all, once you add the dome to the top of it like this, the dome will protect it, and everything will stay nice up and stay the nice way. So it's you know, it's a perfect gift, or it's a perfect thing what you want to make for your home. Gnarled, Gnarled. How do I say that, Leanne? Sometimes I can't like say things in English or Hungarian or any other language. Gnarled? No. Did I say that like that? No. And I was saying and twisted. Oh no, wire broke. Does that matter? No. So if your wire breaks in some of the twigs or anywhere else, you can always just bring a new wire in and add to it. So I could, like for example, if I was going back to this one, if this part of my wire broke off, and in fact, let's cut this off here. So my wire broke off. What am I gonna do now? I still want more. Wrong camera. Let's change the camera again. My wire broke off. I just cut the wire off from there. What can I do? I still want to add more branches. This is like, you know, what can I do? What you can do, you can take your wire and you just either do it further up here. I'm just going to fold this in, not quite half, but just to cover like it's maybe a centimeter. And then I'm going to twist this onto it. And yes, that part of my twig is going to be a slightly bit thicker. And I'm going to go in with my plier and I'm just going to push these ends in together so they really sit nicely. And add another, and keep adding my chips as I went along. So if your wire breaks, you can always introduce a new one. And the whole scheme of things, once your tree is made, you would do this the same even if you start at the bottom or even if you start at the top. And I'm just going to twist this and just show you again. You can add another branch and then keep twisting it together. So yes, here it's going to be a little bit thicker, but whole scheme of things, you know, nature often has that little bit of part of a branch where it's a little bit thicker than other parts. So you could do all sorts of different things. I love this because you can introduce wires, you can take away, you can do whatever you like, and it's going to look natural, it's going to look organic, it's going to look great. So even if on my wire, like I got a couple of wires here which is probably not long enough, I'm not too worried because they're just going to go into the, so I'm going to, in that case, when these are not big enough to add a stone on it, I'm just going to take and group those with a couple of longer ones, just like that. And then these wires are just going to be the part of the branch, just like that there. So those smaller ones. And then when I separate these up and start adding my chips, they're just gonna form that part of the branch a little bit thicker. And I'm using these two longer ones. I don't know how I ended up with the shorter wire there, but I'm going to use the longer ones to add my chips. So either from the top or the bottom, you can do the same things. Now, if you're working your way to the top, let's twist this on. So if you're working your way to the top, and I know I got a little bit of end sticking out there, but I can always go and tuck that in just in a sec when I finished making this branch. Now, if you work your way to the top and all of a sudden you have got, let's pretend we got one wire which is longer and the other one is shorter and I need to extend it. So you can always, I'm going to start making the branch here. I'm going to start adding chips, and then when I get to the place where I need to add a new wire, I'm quite simply just going to take a new piece of wire and well, let's add it on to this one. So I'm actually going to cut this. So we ended up here with one wire, and I need more to add branches. Again, I would take another wire, bring it down, fold it over so it's only about a centimeter to the end. And this is why, even if you got any little pieces of wire left over, when you're making something, always put them to the side because you use them later. I'm just going to twist this on, just like that. And then I'm ready with my new wire there to add more of the branches, more of the little twiggets. And I will deal with this little bit of ends. I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to tuck them right in to my coiling, right into my wire, and then they're going to disappear. And your tree is going to be natural and organic, and you added a new pieces of wire because you needed to make it longer. If you have any questions, please put a Q in front of your question so I can quite easily identify it and pull it out. And the wire, this one is 0.4 millimeter wire, and this is what you get in your kit. Now, this has got 50 meters of wire on there. I'm not sure if you can pick it up, but this is a color remain beading wire. And if I'm making trees, this is the one I would suggest you work with because it's going to take you 2, 3, 4 hours to make a tree, and then you don't want your tree after a couple of months to turn color. These ones, I have one outside actually, which was outside all winter and the color didn't change. And I got the ones in the cupboard, which I'll pull them out just in a second and show you. They haven't changed color at all. So when you're making something ornamental like this, always go with a higher quality color remain wire, because it's going to keep the color, and then you can use all sorts of different colors in your wire work. I like to match up, like with this one, the tourmaline, the rose quartz, and these rose gold wire just works because they all have that little bit of pink tint to it, and it just works like it's ornamental, because like you know, is there a tree out there with pink trunk? I don't know, I have to Google this, but it looks fantastic. It looks really natural. There are loads of different gemstone chips on the website. There is loads of different things you can do with it. Now I'm just gonna change the camera. I'm gonna grab some of the samples out of the cupboard, and I'm gonna show you all sorts of different things what you can do. Because if you just want to have a go at it, and if you just want, like, you know, if you don't want to do the dome, that's fine. I just want to show you what other options do you have. So let me just open this up. I need to move this because this is the second time I almost sent this flying. And then I'm going to show you something else where we have got some stones what you can buy separately. So if you already got the wire and you just want the stone. So this one is tourmaline again. I use this one with the black wire, and this is actually a soap dish. So because the wire is color remain, you can still use this as a little soap dish on the side on your bathroom. I really do love things like this, which is functional and is decoration as well. You can also use this on your bedside table to put your earrings in there at night. So you could do something like that. Just grabbing, this is a tiny little one. Now this is, I think it's a candle holder. It was, and I just added some stone chips at the bottom. And there is another one. Now this is rock crystal again set into just some little stone chips. I don't even know where this came from or what it is. I think it might have come from one of the charity shops. It's just a little dish I collected along the way. Now there is, I love this one. This is one of my favorite trees. So this is a ceramic pot. Again, it's a stone. I'm not even sure where the stone came from. Might have been, I don't know, garden center. Not really sure. And it's just added onto there, and some little stones around it for decorations. So as you can see, you can do so many different things with this. There is a little rose gold one in a little dish. So when you at Christmas time, when you buy your posh pates in your, like, it doesn't have to be posh shops because they all come with it now. They usually come in these ceramic dishes. I think this one was a couple of years ago. We had some more Marks and Spencers, and this ceramic dish came with it. So I kept a ceramic dish, and look how beautiful is for that tree in that settings. So if you get the dome, you're gonna have plenty of wire there. You could make one of smaller tree just to practice with, and then add a bigger one. Like make the bigger one, make the one. So this is the one which was sitting in my kitchen in the aisle for quite some time. This is with the dome. I painted it this really light grey color, and I got a little Labradorite stone right at the bottom of this. This one came from an aquatic shop. I mean, look at that. That's just like what you use. It just looks like a fake stone, but it looks really, really effective with the tree in it. This one is just a little slate, and it's just a little tree. Again, like you could just have it on the side for little trinkets. I got another one set in a ceramic pot. This one is rose quartz. This one is little not rose quartz, fluorite rock at the bottom, but that's a really tiny one. This one's like, I had one for ages. That one in the kit you would get is much bigger, just to comparison in size. Look at that. That's very really big. Right, what else shall I, there is so much. I can't possibly get all of them out. So let's get out one more. Which one shall I like? Leanne? Oh, I'm going to show you this one anyway, and then it's going to be one more. So you could actually have two different chips and twist them together, so or sort of a yin and yang tree.
And the little sodalite one's cute because it's like bonsai, different style.
Where?
Sodalite with the
that one.
Second shelf down.
That
one.
yeah.
I think that's really pretty.
That's lapis.
Oh, lapis.
That's sodalite. This one's a little lapis tree. Leanne said to me to show you. This is again a tea light holder or like a candle holder. And I just filled it up with stones and I plucked the tree in it. And it's, yeah, I can pull it out. So I'm not going to pull it out too much. But I didn't glue the tree down. It just plucked in the stones and then it can sit on the side. But all sorts of different things. I think this dish came from the pound shop. Like it was 3 for £1. Again, I got a amethyst stone on there, and I think they came from a garden centre as well, the small stones. I mixed them up with some PVA glue so they stay in nicely, securely. So yeah, you could do all sorts of different ones. Let me just move this for a sec, because I want to bring these ones back to today's, the ones which are on offer on today. Do have a look, do have a go, like have a little practice just to make a very small tree like this. You do have so much materials in your kit, and then you could make and really nice and big ones. If you want, you can upgrade to the bigger dome and get an extra. Now just bring that in just in a sec. An extra chip as well by upgrading, and then you can make them even a little bit bigger. I'm just going to pop these to the side. Let's just move these up. What I love about it, that you don't have to do them all at once. You can do a little bit, come back, do a little bit more, because you're plying and molding and shaping all of these wires. You know, this could be something what you do. So Julie just asked, and I'm going to show you this, just asked, do you sell the polished stone separately? So there was a plan to put the polished stones, I'm going to have to move this again. There was a plan to put the polished stone separately onto the website, but, and I'll show you what happened and why we couldn't do, well, like, we could have and we couldn't do that. So let me just move this out. So if you go onto, like if you're on Facebook and you go onto the Totally Beads Facebook page, we have added some stones. These are slightly bigger what you get in the kit as well. I'm just come down to this camera, and actually I'm going to need to zoom out. There we go. So we have added the stones on there in the, I think I can come out on this a little bit more. So you can, let's turn it. So we have added pictures of the stones into the Totally Beads Facebook page, and you can buy these ones separately. Now they each, my problem was just adding them onto the website, that each stone is separately. Can you, I'll give me the rose quartz and the other ones. Each stone is slightly different. I mean, look at that, that's got a really nice Labradorite and the shine in them, and then like all of them is slightly different. So what we decided with Leanne, what we did is we added these stones, we added a picture of these stones onto the Totally Beads page, Facebook page, and this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, no, 10, 11, so I missed 10. Oh my god, I can't count there. And then you can purchase them separately. So what I want you to do, if you want any of these stones, so that's Labradorite, this is the rose quartz. These are all, like the Labradorite is between 200 and 300 grams. The rose quartz is between 150-ish, I think. I don't know, we measured them, we did measure them, they're all on there. And you can choose which stone you want. So again, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you need to put in the comments underneath it, that which stone do you want. Let me just move this out. I love this one. This one is fossil stone. I mean, look at that. How beautiful is that? They are just perfect. They're all $14.99. Let's turn it around. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and just comment underneath the pictures which one do you like. So and then once you made your comment on the picture, you can either phone Simon in the office and he will add it to your order, or we can message you after. You must put the comment on there that I want number 3, and then message us and we will get in contact to get your details so you can get them. So I love these ones. They, like, even if you don't use them for trees, I just want to have them. I just want to put them out. I just want to really put them out. But I just wanted to give you the opportunity to choose your own stone, because otherwise, if I added, we could have added like this onto the website, and then you could end up with that one or that one or that one, whichever one, like, you know, the guys would pick up work. But I really wanted to give you the opportunity so you can choose your own stones. Now this is the agate ones. I love these ones as well, because look at the detail on them. Like, each one of them is very different. That one is more turly-whirly, I would say. This one has got more of a straight lines on them. And look at this one, is a bit more paler, and this one is a bit more orange. So again, these ones are $14.99. These ones are quite big as well. I think they between 200 and 300 grams, but it's all on the website, on the Totally Beads Facebook page, showing you. So if you want any of these, comment under the picture, I would like number 2 please, or number 3, or whichever you choose, and then you get in contact. Now these all so Labradorite, the rose quartz, the fossil stone, and the agate, they're all $14.99 each. Let me just find this out. They're quite heavy, I have to say. And then this is the fluorite. Now the fluorite is a little bit more expensive because it was more expensive for us to buy as well. So this one is $24.99. But look how lovely they are. And when you put light behind it, they look even better. They're just really, some of them are a bit more greener, some of them got veins in them, like this one is like clad inside. I just really love it. And some of them are quite dark and purple. So again, this is why I couldn't just add it to the website and then you expecting something which is more green and then you get something which is more purple. So you can really choose your own stone. And then we had some really large one of these Fluorite ones came in, so we separated them up because we buy them by weight, so we kind of like had to grade them by weight. They came in. I'm just going to show you one of those. Leanne just handing it in for me. So these ones like over 350 grams. This is Fluorite as well, and they just slightly bigger. I just love them. I just want to hold them, just sort of put them out and just look at them. So go and have a look at them. Let's just give them another one as well. Look, this one is gorgeous as well. So these are the really big ones. So have a look on the website. I think you will find they are, for the size you get, they are really cheap, because like I looked around and something like this elsewhere would be like 60 quid, because they are really like, they're 350 grams. They are really large and heavy stones, and they're really beautiful polished ones as well. So I think they're really good. We're trying this out. If this works, like if you want this type of stuff, we can always bring in more, and we just need to work out the way, because I really want you to be able to choose your own stone and then, you know, like have the one what you chosen. Kimberly's saying light bulb moment. I have on it, like put these back because that they Leanne, because in a certain order, yep, on the table, so we know exactly whose is who wants whose. And let me just go back to me. So I hope you enjoyed today. You can see, like, now my cupboard is open. Like this one, let's open this a bit more. You can see I keep all my trees like all on these 3 shelves. I've got loads and loads of them. Would love an amethyst. So do pop over to Totally Beads Facebook page. Find the post. Leanne has pinned them to the top, so they should be the first one to coming up. So you got 4 stones of $14.99. You got rose quartz, Labradorite, the fossil stone, and the agate. They're all $14.99 each. And then you got the fluorite, which is $24.99, and the really large fluorite, which is $29.99. So you got 6 different posts there to choose your stones. You can just choose one, or you can choose multiple of them. If you want a Labradorite and a rose quartz, then please put underneath the picture, I would like number 2 please, or number 4 please, or number 10 please, and then we will sort it out. I'm just not quite sure how we can do sort of, I want to give you the choice, so we'll see. We will see how we go on. Right, I have to say a special thank you for Chef again. Thank you so much, Chef. You are amazing, helping and making up all of these trees so I can show it to you, because anything like this, like if I just show you the materials, there's not as impressive as actually seeing the tree itself, because they are really, really amazing. So I hope you are, I hope you enjoyed today's ones. Do let me know. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and then we will make more content. I got more tree videos coming. I don't know if you might be able to spot it, what we're working on in the background right here. Maybe I'm just pointing it to it like that. But I got more tree videos coming up. I'm just quickly going to go back and have a look. If there's any questions I miss, can you bind the stones on their own? Linda's asking, yes, absolutely can. I just showed you that on Totally Beads Facebook page, and it's not anywhere else, only on that page, because we need everybody to comment on that one post. And then can get in contact with Simon, or Simon will get in contact with you to take payment or sort it out. That's he can. What different gemstones are available for the trees? So the ones in the website today, so you got rock crystal with crystal stone, you got fluorite chips with fluorite stone, you got let me just look, you got the agate stone with the carnelian chips, you also have tourmaline chips with the rose quartz stone, you have labradorite with labradorite, and with the fossil stone I have added mookaite with it, because it's just sort of picking up those really nice colors. So that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we are still staying on, like we're going to do the Everbloom cabochon, so it's still staying with sort of the trees and nature, and I just love spring. I'm like, I'm hoping the more trees and the more things we do with trees, the spring will just hurry up. Let me just turn the camera and show this thing. Spring will just hurry up and come along, and then we can, I love summer. I love spring and summer. So we're going to be doing these lovely cabochons tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I will see you tomorrow. I will see you very soon. Bye, everybody.